Welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris and I help people find their center. In this video, we're continuing with our series in talking about the elements, and in particular the 4 elements, and by identifying which of your primary type you are, it can help you bring more balance to yourself. It can help you to heal faster. It can help you to determine how you interact with the world and greatly benefit you as a person by knowing how you interact with the world and also your unconscious shadow aspect. So according to Carl Jung, who some of these teachings are based off of, is we all have the potential for one of these types: air, water, fire, and earth. We all have the potential for one of these 4 elements or psychological constitutions. However, we primarily have one dominant one default one that we go to, in which we see the world and we express ourselves. And by becoming aware of our dominant aspect, we can also look at its shadow aspect. We can look at the polar opposite of that element, and that will identify our strength and our weakness. And by doing that, we can turn it into helping us to heal, helping us to transform blockages by knowing the opposite and its strength. So yesterday I talked about earth. Today we're talking about water. And if you've seen Avatar the Last Airbender, Katara is a waterbender. So it goes just beyond your birth chart. Birth chart is part of it, but it goes much deeper than that. And I'm going to include some links below on identifying which element, according to your birth chart, you have dominant energy in, and which zodiac sign signature is the most prevalent in your chart. So, water. Water is the element of change. Water is the element of adaptability. And it's linked to the Sacral Chakra, which is about relationships. Relationships to others, to our parents, to ourselves, to the world. And by identifying if you're a water type, the feeling type, you can see if you're holding blockages in particular areas of the body that you need to bring balance to. Now, according to Dr. Stone in polarity therapy, he invented this modality by studying yoga, Chinese medicine, reflexology, and he put it together in his own system called polarity therapy, which is based on one of the Hermetic principles, which is the law of polarity, which says that everything has an opposite on this physical plane. We have the physical, we have the spiritual, we have light, dark, yin, yang. And by coming to balance with the polarity, male, female, masculine, feminine, by coming to balance with polarity and using it in the body as well as on the emotional level, you can bring balance to yourself. Anyway, Dr. Stone linked it into specific areas of the body. He saw that the zodiac signs are represented in different aspects and areas of the body, from head to feet. Head being the Aries element and feet being Pisces. So in the water element, the water triad is Cancer rules the breasts and chest area, Scorpio rules the sacrum and the reproductive organs, and Pisces rules the feet. So you've got the crab, you've got the scorpion, and you've got the fish. Now, if you're the feeling type, you may pick up on the emotions of others around you. You may be a light worker. You may be highly empathic. You may pick up on the emotional impressions of others. You may pick up on the impressions of the collective consciousness more easily. You may feel people are hiding stuff, and you can see their deep repressed shadow aspects of themselves. And by identifying if you're a watery type, you can help to bring balance to yourself. You may find that you have some blockages in the areas described of the water element. You may have some low back pain, which could be linked to your water element. You may have some swollen feet, which could also be linked to an out of balance water element. And if you're a watery type, your dominant element is most likely going to be the one that goes out of whack or out of balance first. And it's how you relate to the world. It's how you relate to the outside world. And water is the element of change, adaptability, and it's about having a deep sense of community, relationships, being in touch with your emotions, and, you know, sexuality as well. The sacral chakra, which is linked to the water element, it's also known as the water chakra. It deals with pleasure, and it's blocked by guilt. And what guilt are you holding on to? You may also feel guilt and have pain corresponding to guilt in the areas I just mentioned: your feet, your low back, or your breast, chest region. So it can manifest negative emotion, or trauma manifests itself in the physical body as well. And as Abraham Hicks says, our feeling is our indicator. So if you're feeling the emotion of guilt more of the time than the emotion of pleasure, then you know you need to balance your sacral chakra and connect to your water element and do some healing on that level. Yin is water. Water is yin. It's the most receptive element. And water is flowing. It has to do with going with the flow of life. You want to bring balance to this element because you'll notice you'll have more flow in your own life. Abraham Hicks also talks about going into the vortex. When you're in the vortex, that's the water element in alignment. That's the water element, and your life just flows without you having to effort it. So by bringing balance, you can easily align with the law of attraction, and all of the things that you're looking for to manifest will flow easier by bringing balance and identifying if you're a watery type. So you can energize this element by bringing balance to your emotions, by dealing with any feelings of guilt that you have. What do you feel guilty for? Did you hurt another person? Did another person hurt you? Watery types of people tend to carry on or hold on to the emotional imprints of others and themselves, and hold on to this guilt for a long time. And it manifests itself as pain in the body. So you need to clear it in order to heal. You need to do some forgiveness work. It's linked to compassion, sensitivity, or some of the positive aspects of the water element, and the negative aspects, aside from, you know, what I just said about guilt. It's clingy, moody, brooding, and it can be suffocating. So you need to eat some leafy greens and vegetables that grow on top of the ground. On the ground, but on top of the ground. Root vegetables are in the ground. Watery vegetables and watery foods grow just above the ground. And by doing that, by clearing and healing your water element and your sacral chakra, and by identifying if you're a watery feeling type of person, you can know how you interact with the world and also work with what works best for you. So you orient yourself by feeling, by impressions, and you ask yourself whether or not something feels right. Does something feel right to you? Does this feel good or not good? And that is a huge and important indicator for knowing whether or not you're on your path in life. Like Abraham Hicks says, I keep talking about Abraham Hicks because I'm in the middle of reading this book, which is hugely profound. And the book is called The Power of Emotions, which is linked to the water element. Everybody needs to strengthen their water element, and you need to identify whether or not you're a watery type person. So again, it's linked to feeling, it's linked to empathy, it's linked to a sense of compassion. The negative emotion of guilt, it could be people with an out of balance water element or a watery type that's out of balance, feel suffocated, feel suffocating, and also too yielding, too, just gives into what everybody else wants. Too much of a doormat. too much of just letting other people take advantage of them with having no boundaries. Earth is about boundaries, but so is water. Water can have boundaries, and don't piss off a water element. Watch out. Look at Katara from Avatar the Last Airbender. Anyway, connect to water. It's raining outside right now. That's why I'm filming indoors, but I'm still connecting to this water element. Drink some high-quality oxygenated water. Go down to the river if you can. Go stick your feet in the ocean. If you can't, do some meditation and visualizations of an image that reminds you of water, of the ocean. It could be sand. It could be seashells. It could be, connecting with your emotions. And if you're a watery type, you need to strengthen your water element. We all do, in order to be a more well-balanced person. So again, I hope this made sense. Again, dealing with not only your blockages in each of the chakras, each of the elements, you're going to be more of a well-balanced person, and you can manifest like that. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Peace and namaste.